and welcome. This is News Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studio, Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up. Senate fails to veto President Buhari on Electoral Act Amendments Bill. President Buhari unveils 4 years National Development Plan. South Africa's court allows former President Zuma Appeal jail return. Iran seeks to cool tensions in Iraq. Glad to have you join us, and here are stories we're tracking at this hour. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. Now the news in detail. The Senate on Wednesday failed to override the President on the amended Electoral Act bill. The Red Chamber made a U-turn when members emerged from a 40-minute closed session with the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, explaining after the executive session that the upper chamber had decided to consult with members of the House of Representatives on the matter. He said since the House had gone on recess and the Constitution prescribed that both chambers should take a joint decision on the matter, it would be proper for them to wait till January before any action could be taken. Lawan also said the Senate in the closed session agreed that members should consult with their constituencies, who are critical stakeholders in the electoral process. Some senators expressed their dissatisfaction with the conditions given by the President to withhold assent to the electoral bill. According to the President, signing the bill into law would have serious adverse legal, financial, economic and security consequences on the country, particularly in view of Nigeria's peculiarities. He added that it would also impact negatively on the rights of citizens to participate in the government as constitutionally ensured. President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled Nigeria's National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 to succeed the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan (ERGP), which ran through 2017 to 2020. The President made this presentation on Wednesday, shortly after the commencement of the virtual meeting of the Federal Executive Council (FEC) held at the Council Chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. While presenting the document, the President was assisted by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Governor Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, as well as Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed. The plan provides for the implementation of major infrastructure and other development projects across the 6 geopolitical zones and the opening up of opportunities for the rural areas to ensure balanced development and increase competitiveness. The National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) on Wednesday launched Operation Eagle Eye with a warning to motorists against reckless driving during Christmas and New Year's celebrations. Hajiya Zainab Seidu, head NEMA Mina Operations Office, who flagged off the exercise in Mina, said it is part of the agency's readiness as an emergency responder to respond to disasters during the Yuletide season. Seidu said the agency is collaborating with key stakeholders such as the Federal Road Safety Corps, Federal and State Fire Services, Nigerian Red Cross and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps to manage disasters. She noted that the agency is committed to having an accident-free festive celebration and advised road users to maintain a safe speed, avoid overspeeding and night journeys. The National Examination Council (NECO) has announced that it has begun taking steps to make its exams compulsory across the nation. Mr. Aziz Sani, the Council's Head of Information and Public Relations Division, made the announcement in a statement. He expressed optimism that other states would follow after the Cross River government, which had granted approval to make all public examinations conducted by the Council compulsory for all public schools in the state. According to Sani, Cross River made NECO compulsory across the state after a request by the Registrar and Chief Executive of NECO, Professor Dantani Ibrahim Wushishi, during a courtesy visit to the governor in Calabar. NECO Registrar Professor Wushishi also commended the state for its positive disposition about the council. He stated that NECO is the only national indigenous examination body in the country and as a result deserves the support of all Nigerians. The council conducts the National Common Entrance Examination (NCEE), Basic Education Certificate Examination (BECE), and the Senior School Certificate Examination (SSCE). Femi Falana, activist lawyer, has lambasted President Muhammadu Buhari over rejection of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021. According to the senior advocate of Nigeria, Buhari's action had confirmed that his administration won't allow the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) conduct a credible election in 2023. Falana, in a statement issued on Tuesday, said Buhari's reasons for rejecting the bill was misleading, insisting that the president is leaving behind a terrible legacy by rejecting the bill twice in 2018 and 2021. The gruesome murder of a 7-year-old girl, Dimlady Fadari, has added to the list of unsolved deaths in recent times. The sad incident, which occurred in Adehun axis of Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, is still sending shivers down the spine of many, especially her heartbroken father and mother, who are vehemently seeking justice. In an interview with iBrandTV, the shell-shocked parents gave account of how the sad incident occurred and their frustration in seeking justice.
She functions normally. So I don't know how she suddenly became mad. I don't know how she suddenly became mentally incapacitated, that she was able to kill my child. And her parents kept it, and I was not there when my daughter was found. But I was told my daughter was stabbed and her throat was slit open. And she was kept in a cooler. They were about to dump her like a goat. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. Mr. Olajiga's family, they parked their car in our compound. My kids call them Grandpa, Grandma. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. I don't know. I still can't wrap my head around it. I don't know. We are still looking for 2 members of the Olajiga family. Mojola Olajiga and Eboluwa Olajiga. They were home when this happened and they kept it to themselves. They are now on the run. They are at large. And we are still hoping that they will be found and explain why they committed this grave offense.
Theatre Arts and Motion Pictures Practitioners Association of Nigeria (TAMPAN) has launched a health trust fund with the purpose of paying for the medical treatment of ailing members. The trust fund, tagged TAMPAN Endowment Fund, was launched at the opening ceremony of Conference of Nigerian Arts and Films (CONAF) held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. According to the president of the association, Bolaji Amusan, this became imperative following the rising cases of deaths of Nollywood actors as a result of health challenges.
People believe that whenever our members fall sick, also just sit without doing anything. And you can see yourself that we are trying our best, supporting our members that are sick silently without making noise. Now we want to make a whole lot of noise by initiating that trust fund. We are employing well-meaning individuals to support that trust fund so that we can be able to insure each and every member of TAMPAN.
I've never been an advocate of anybody getting ill, falling sick, and then we go to the public to canvass for funds. When we have a professional body of stars, if you look at the quality of members, I don't think we need any reason to harass the public for donations when our members fall ill. And so it's a welcome development.
Sometimes the limitations of the legislature. Once I left the house, it went cold. And I'm hoping maybe when I get the successor that will listen to me, there will be continuity, and that bill will be brought out of doldrums and it will get a further reading.
An expert has pointed out the need for Nigeria to harness the huge potential in its tourism sector. Speaking with iBrandTV, the managing director of Ikogosi Warm Spring, Ayo Ademilua, noted that Nigeria has given more attention to oil and it has adversely hampered taking advantage of the avalanche of potential in tourism.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to the Ikogosi Warm Spring Resort, located in Ikogosi Town, Ekiti State, Nigeria. My name is Ruben Habib. I am the Director of Operations at this wonderful eco-cultural tourism hideaway in Ekiti State. Much has been said about the Ikogosi Warm Spring, and everything emanates from the magical wonder of the warmth of the water coming out of the ground here in Ekiti State. I think somebody has gone over a little bit of the history of the fable and the tradition of the Ikogosi Warm Springs, but I want to talk to you a little bit right now about the science behind it, and there is a definite science behind it. 2 kilometers beneath us, right here, there's this collection of rocks called superheated rocks. About 20 million years ago, when these mountains were formed, these mountains are actually made out of quartzite. So if you break into them, they're actually bright white. There's some quartzite shelt, which is the red quartzite that you see in Ado Town, the capital of the Ekiti State. But these are basically quartzite mountains. And so just like your windshield, if you smash your windshield, the cracks run long. So too with the quartz. And what happens is that the groundwater somehow goes down and meets these superheated rocks that about 20 million years ago were heated by the magma of the earth and continue today to act as a geothermal battery that is heating up the warm spring water. I think you probably heard a little bit about the traditional history of the Ikogosi Warm Spring. I'd like to tell you a little bit now about the science behind it as well, and there's a definite science. It's very, very interesting indeed. About 20 million years ago, when the earth was still forming, these mountains around us, and we're surrounded by a bowl of mountains. There's actually 4. There's one ahead of me, one beside me, and one behind me. 4 different mountains which create this bowl that the Ikogosi Warm Springs is set in. On one of the mountains, very special, 2 kilometers straight down toward the center of the earth, are these collection of superheated rocks. And that's actually the scientific name, funny enough, superheated rocks. And about 20 million years ago, somehow, the magma from the earth charged this battery, this geothermal battery that we sit on. And from then until now, it has been supplying water, warm water, through the Ikogosi Warm Spring. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon.
You're watching News Now. More stories after now. Stay with us. Glad to know you're still with us. Now we're checking out stories from the African scene. Former South African President Jacob Zuma will be allowed to appeal a court ruling that ordered him back to jail to serve the remainder of his sentence. A judge ruled Tuesday. The 80-year-old former president had been released on medical parole earlier this year, but the Gauteng High Court in the capital Pretoria ruled last week that his parole had been illegal. Zuma was convicted and sentenced for defying a court order ordering that he appear before a government-backed commission probing allegations of corruption during his tenure as president from 2009 to 2018. Zuma's release on medical parole had been granted by former Correctional Services Commissioner Arthur Fraser against the recommendation of the parole board. He served nearly 2 months of his 15-month sentence, but this was mainly in the hospital wing of the East Court Correctional Center and a hospital in Pretoria, where he underwent surgery in August this year. Zuma's imprisonment in July sparked protests by supporters who demanded his immediate pardon and release from jail. The protests quickly descended into chaotic violence in which trucks were burned, shops and warehouses looted and burned. More than 300 people died in the country's worst violence since the end of apartheid in 1994. Libya's parliament has announced that Friday's planned presidential election would not go again. The Libyan Electoral Commission proposed on Wednesday to postpone by 1 month the presidential election after a parliamentary committee concluded that it was impossible to hold it on that date. Among these considerations, the Electoral Commission cited inadequate electoral laws regarding the role of the judiciary in electoral appeals and disputes. Many Libyans had already registered for voting cards for the election, but the collapse of the electoral process raises fears of aggravating local dispute and triggering a new round of fighting. The postponement strips bare a peace process that had been seen as the best hope in years of bringing an end to the decade of chaos and violence that has engulfed Libya since a NATO-backed uprising ousted Mohammed Gaddafi in 2011. Moving on to the foreign scene, Iran is intervening in Iraq to quell destabilizing internal unrest stirred up by Iranian-backed militias. The actions come as Tehran seeks to preserve its deep influence in the country while also navigating tense negotiations over its unclear ambitions with the United States. A particularly high-level intervention came last month, hours after an attack on the Iraqi Prime Minister's residence that some officials in Baghdad blamed on Iran-backed groups. Ghani, the commander in Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC, who heads its foreign military operations, told the leaders of two militias in Iraq that petty politics was threatening the power of Iraq's ruling Shiite majority, through which Iran exerts its influence. The November 7th armed drone attack on Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi's residence marked a dramatic escalation in tensions that have been building over recent months between competing Shiite groups. The European Commission launched an infringement procedure against Poland on Wednesday over rulings by the country's constitutional tribunal in July and October that challenged the primacy of EU law over national law. The legal action by the Commission, which is the guardian of EU treaties, is an escalation of the conflict with Warsaw over the rule of law that began when Poland's ruling nationalist and Eurosceptic PIS party took power in 2015. The clash has delayed the release of billions of euros from EU recovery funds to Poland because the Commission says Poland's courts are not independent from political influence, meaning the funds are not protected from misuse. In a statement, the Commission said it was also launching the infringement steps because the Polish Constitutional Tribunal's rulings deprived individuals seeking action through the Polish courts of the right to effective judicial protection set out in EU treaties. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said he did not agree with the European Commission's position and that it had misinterpreted the power that had been conferred on it. Poland has 2 months to reply to the letter of formal notice sent on Wednesday. If the Commission is not satisfied with Warsaw's reply, it can send Poland a reasoned opinion requesting it to comply with EU law, again with a 2-month reply period. After that, the Commission can sue Poland and the European Court of Justice, which can impose daily fines on Warsaw until it complies. It has already imposed such daily fines on Poland in 2 other cases, which now add up to 1.5 million euros. That's approximately $1.70 million a day. Coming up now is entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News. I am Michelle Abanum. Former Big Brother Nigeria housemate White Money has been made an honorary member of the Liberian Senate. The government of Liberia is yet to make an official statement about the honorary award. According to the man who conferred the honor on him, the reality TV star is going to be an important part of their country during its elections. The reality TV star was also gifted a sports utility vehicle by the person who conferred him with the title. As he pinned an official brooch on White Money, the man explained the significance of the process, saying, "If any member of the Senate sees you, they will know you are a member of the Liberian Senate." White Money was one of their housemates from the 6th season of the reality TV show Big Brother Nigeria. He ended up as the winner of the season teamed Shiny Eye. Next, popular American actress Megan Good has officially announced a split from her husband, Devon Franklin, after 9 years of marriage. On Wednesday, the Think Like a Man actress issued a statement alongside her husband on Instagram to announce their separation. "After much prayer and consideration, we have decided to go into our futures separately, but forever connected," the statement read. The couple described their love as one that is eternal and further stated that no one was at fault for the split. Megan, 40, got engaged to Devon, a Seventh-day Adventist preacher and movie producer, in May 2012. The couple officially tied the knot a month later. Moving on, music producer Ikogosi has expressed anger as a fast-rising singer Habib Okikiola, popularly known as Portable, called out dancer Pokoli for ripping him of his money and receiving credit for their hit track Zazuze. Portable had shared a video where he stated that Pokoli was trying to rip him of his song credits. The street sensation is currently making waves with his Zazuze hit, in which he featured award-winning singer Olamide and Pokoli. In the video, Portable claims that Wizkid sprayed him up to $3,000, but Pokoli gave him only $600. He also berated the singer for putting his name first in the arrangement of the song. And that's it on entertainment news. I am Michelle Abanum.
And coming up now is Business News with Frank.
Hello, welcome to Business News. I am Frank Omalapi, and here are some of the reports we're tracking now. Nigerians spent more money on household cooking gas in November 2021 than in previous months, according to the latest figures issued by the statistics body NBS. The average cost of buying a 12.5 kg cylinder cooking gas in Nigeria spiked by 78.99% on a year-on-year basis, from a lower cost of 4,082 naira 97 kobo. In November, the average price of the product was 7,308 naira 6 kobo, an increase of 10.09% on a month-on-month basis from a lower cost of 6,638 naira 27 kobo in the preceding month of October. A cursory look at the data shows that the price increased to its highest level in over 2 years. Specifically, a 12.5 kg cylinder of household cooking gas increased to its highest since November 2018. And away from there now, the Nigerian government announced the inauguration of an interministerial committee for the implementation of the signed joint statement between Nigeria and Ghana on trade dispute. The committee was inaugurated by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeni Adebayo, on Tuesday, according to the report. This comes after a high-level bilateral meeting between Nigeria and representatives of the Ghanaian government led by that country's Minister of Trade held between May and June. They said the committee would be chaired by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Evelyn Ngige, as President Muhammadu Buhari approved the constitution of a delegation to Ghana to engage in and effectively find a lasting solution to the recurring dispute between Nigerian traders and their Ghanaian counterparts through a bilateral engagement. The minister added that the result of the meeting between both sides, including the signing of the joint statement that seeks to address the challenges, as the president approved the establishment of this interministerial committee to handle the implementation of the outcome of the joint statement, formalize trade and investment relations, and address other critical issues between the two countries. And now Nigeria has been rated the second country most interested in Bitcoin, despite the difficulty of accessing the trillion-dollar crypto in the country. As evidenced by data from Google Trends, the financial market turmoil caused by COVID-19 has definitely changed the way Nigerians view the entire financial system, with Nigeria among the leading countries in Bitcoin searches. Based on local geographic metrics, Delta, Anambra, Bayelsa, Edo, and Enugu rank as the top 5 states with the highest interest in Bitcoin in Nigeria. This is coming on the backdrop that CBN has intensified its campaign against cryptocurrency traders and is now targeting entities and individuals that provide peer-to-peer platforms or services to customers who trade crypto assets. Away from there now, the exchange rate between the Naira and the US dollar closed at 415 Naira 1 kobo to the US dollar. The official investors and exporters window. Naira depreciated by 0.07% against the US dollar on Tuesday to close at 450 Naira 1 kobo to the US dollar compared to 440 Naira 81 kobo to the US dollar recorded in the previous trading session. While forex turnover at the official market recorded a marginal decline of 10.2% to $323.5 million from $360.18 million recorded in the previous trading session. On the other hand, Naira depreciated against the US dollar on Tuesday to close at 575 Naira to the dollar from an average of 573 Naira recorded in the previous day. In the meantime, Nigeria's foreign reserve reduced by 0.12% on Monday to close at $40.32 billion compared to $40.67 billion recorded as of the previous day. The continuous decline in the nation's external reserve is attributed to the intervention by the Apex Bank in the official forex market. And it's time to flip over to African scene now. Dubai has extended the ban for all inbound and transit passenger flights from Kenya till December 24 amid a surge in COVID-19 cases in the country. The Dubai Civil Aviation Authority had announced a 48-hour suspension on all flights from Kenya to the Middle East nation on December 20. On Wednesday, the Dubai-based Emirates Airlines announced that it has in turn extended its flight from Kenya suspension to comply with the directive. And in the meantime, Kenya Airways also suspended passenger flights to Dubai on Tuesday in line with that directive. The national carrier said it will refund passengers who had booked tickets for travel within the suspension period. The travelers will also be allowed to rebook when flights resumed. And on the international scene, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Meta, the world's most popular social media company, is now estimated to have a net worth of $125 billion. The American billionaire, based on historical data, is the youngest individual ever to surpass a net worth of $100 billion. With a net worth of $125 billion, the 37-year-old tech entrepreneur can buy 69.8 million troy ounces of gold, or about 1.68 billion barrels of crude oil. According to Bloomberg Billionaires Index data, Zuckerberg has gained $21.4 billion in wealth since 2021. Based on the company's 2021 proxy statements, Zuckerberg's fortune is derived from a 13% stake in Meta Platforms, formerly Facebook. 2.8 billion people are active monthly on the world's largest social network, according to the company's January 2021 presentation. Well, and that's what we have on business news at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. It's back to you now.
All right, now we have the sports news with Samson.
Manchester City defender Benjamin Mendy is now accused of 7 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault relating to 5 women. The 27-year-old was charged last week with the latest offense, but it was subject to reporting restrictions. The latest charge relates to a new complainant and is alleged to have taken place in July this year. The earlier charges are alleged to have happened between October 2020 and August 2021. The footballer, who has been in custody since his arrest in August, appeared alongside his co-defendant, Louisa Mature, who is 40 years old and of Great Manchester. He is accused of 6 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. Both men were remanded into custody at HMP Outcourse in Liverpool after the 40-minute hearing. Their trial, which was scheduled for January, was also put back to later in the year. And still talking sports updates, Australian Open organizers are still unsure if defending men's champion Novak Djokovic will play at next month's Grand Slam. All players and staff at the Australian Open must be vaccinated or have a medical exemption granted by an independent panel of experts. Serbia's Djokovic has not spoken publicly about his vaccination status. Australian Open director Craig Tilley is confident that Spain's Rafael Nadal will be there despite testing positive for COVID-19 this week. The Australian Open starts in Melbourne on the 17th of January, with players starting to arrive in the country from next week for warm-up events. Djokovic, who will be going for his 21st record Grand Slam title and 10th Australian Open title, is down on the entry list. He is also named in the field to play for Serbia in the ATP Cup, which starts in Sydney on the 1st of January. And in football, Manchester United have announced the appointment of Iwan Sharp as a member of Ralf Rangnick's coaching crew. Sharp's last post was at Lokomotiv Moscow alongside Rangnick and has previously worked with New York Red Bulls and Toronto FC, while also having a 2-year stint as Director of Performance Analysis at Northwestern University in the United States. Rangnick appointed American Amas as his assistant earlier this month, following the departure of Carrick after his 3-month spell in caretaker charge. Sharp joins Amas and Mike Phelan as part of the coaching setup at United. And that's it on Sports Updates. I'm Samson Olede.
Thank you, Samson. It's a wrap on News Now at this hour. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. To enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.